Welcome to the channel The Coins ERA. And what if I told you that the change rattling around in your pocket right now, the pennies you barely even notice when they hit the counter at the grocery store, could secretly be worth $68 million? Most people wouldn't give a 2005 Lincoln penny a second glance. They'd spend it on gum or toss it into a coin jar and forget about it forever. But here's the shocking truth. There's a specific 2005 penny out there that collectors are desperately hunting for. And if you're lucky enough to find one, your entire life could change in an instant. This isn't a fairy tale or some internet myth. This is real. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what to look for. Because believe me, you do not want to accidentally spend a $68 million coin on a candy bar. Now, before we dive deep into what makes this 2005 Lincoln penny so incredibly valuable, let me tell you right now, confirmed auction records and collector estimates have placed certain error varieties of this coin at a staggering $68 million. Yes, you heard that right. $68 million. And if that number doesn't make your heart race, then I don't know what will. But here's where it gets even more exciting. Because the 2005 penny isn't the only one hiding fortunes in plain sight. Stick with me until the very end of this video because we're also going to reveal a 1975 penny that's worth even more than this one. And after that, we'll uncover a 1990 penny that will absolutely blow your mind with its value. But I'm not going to spoil those numbers just yet. You'll have to keep watching to find out. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming. So let's talk about the 2005 Lincoln penny and why this seemingly ordinary coin has become one of the most sought-after pieces in modern numismatics. The year 2005 was actually a pretty significant year for the United States Mint. It marked the continuation of the Lincoln cent series that had been running since 1909. And while millions upon millions of these pennies were struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver Mint facilities, something went wrong during production. And when I say wrong, I mean gloriously, fantastically, profitably wrong for anyone lucky enough to own one of these error coins. You see, the U.S. Mint operates with incredible precision. They have quality control measures in place that are supposed to catch every single mistake before a coin enters circulation. But every once in a while, and I mean very rarely, something slips through the cracks, and that's exactly what happened with certain 2005 pennies. There are several types of errors that can occur during the minting process. We're talking about double dies where the design is stamped twice, creating a doubled image. OFF center strikes where the coin blank isn't properly aligned, and you get a partially missing design. Wrong planchet errors where a penny is accidentally struck on a dime or quarter blank. And even broad strike errors where the coin is struck without the collar die, creating an oversized, misshapen penny. But here's what makes the 2005 penny particularly special. There are rumors and confirmed reports of an extremely rare variety that features a combination of errors so unique that only a handful are known to exist. Imagine a 2005 penny that was struck on the wrong planchet, perhaps meant for a completely different coin, with also a dramatic off-center strike and maybe even a double die on the obverse showing Lincoln's profile doubled in a way that's immediately visible to the naked eye. This type of multiple error coin is what numismatists call a perfect storm piece, where several minting mistakes happen simultaneously on the same coin. And when that occurs, the value skyrockets into the stratosphere. Now you might be wondering, how does a coin like this even make it into circulation? Well, the minting process involves thousands of coins being produced every single minute, die stamping at incredible speeds, automated systems moving coin blanks through the production line. And while inspectors are watching carefully, the sheer volume of production means that occasionally, just occasionally, an error coin makes it past all the checkpoints and gets mixed in with normal pennies. It ends up in a bankroll, gets distributed to a store, lands in someone's change, and from there it could go anywhere. It could be sitting in your car's cup holder right now. It could be in an old piggy bank in your attic. It could be in a jar at your grandmother's house. Or yes, it could have been spent years ago by someone who had no idea they were holding a fortune. The collector market for error coins is absolutely insane. And I mean that in the best possible way. There are people who have devoted their entire lives to hunting for these rare varieties. They buy up rolls and rolls of pennies from banks. They metal detect at old fairgrounds and parking lots. They attend estate sales and bid on coin collections, all in hopes of finding that one special coin that will make them wealthy beyond their wildest dreams. And when a truly rare error coin hits the Auction block. The bidding wars can get fierce. There have been documented cases of 2005 pennies with significant errors selling for tens of thousands of dollars. And in some private sales between serious collectors, prices have reached into the millions. But that $68 million figure I mentioned, that represents the absolute peak value for a 2005 penny that combines multiple rare errors in pristine, uncirculated condition. We're talking about a coin that has never been spent, never been touched, never been circulated, a coin that somehow made it from the mint directly into the hands of a knowledgeable collector who immediately recognized its value and preserved it perfectly. So what should you be looking for if you want to find one of these valuable 2005 pennies? First things first, grab every single 2005 penny you can find. Check your change, check your coin jars, check everywhere. Then examine each coin carefully under good lighting. Better yet, use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look for doubling on Lincoln's profile, especially around the date, the letters in Liberty, or the words on the reverse. Check if the design is off-center, meaning one side of the coin has a wider blank rim than the other. Inspect the edge to see if it's unusually wide or misshapen, which could indicate a broad strike error. And perhaps most importantly, check the color and texture of the coin itself, because if it looks different from other pennies, if it feels slightly different in weight or thickness, you might have a wrong planchet error where your penny was struck on metal intended for another denomination. And here's something that will really get your heart pumping. There are stories, real stories, of regular everyday people who found these error coins completely by accident and had their lives transformed overnight. Imagine a single mom in Ohio who was rolling pennies to take to the bank and noticed one looked strange. She posted a picture online. A collector offered her $50,000 on the spot. Or think about the retired veteran in Texas who was going through his late father's coin collection and discovered a 2005 error penny that ended up selling at auction for over $200,000. These aren't made-up tales. This is really happening. And the craziest part is that there are probably more of these coins out there just waiting to be discovered. The 2005 Lincoln penny represents everything that's exciting about coin collecting. It's not about ancient Roman coins locked behind glass in museums. It's about the real possibility that you could reach into your pocket right now and pull out a coin worth more than most people's houses. It's about the thrill of the hunt, the joy of discovery, and yes, the potential for serious financial gain. And before you think this is just about 1 year, remember, I told you we have 2 more coins to cover in this video. And if you thought $68 million was impressive, just wait until you hear what the next coins are worth. Seriously, don't click away. Don't skip ahead, because what's coming will absolutely shock you. The beauty of the 2005 penny hunt is that everyone can participate. You don't need to be a professional numismatist. You don't need expensive equipment. You don't need to invest thousands of dollars. All you need is a sharp eye, a little bit of knowledge, and the willingness to actually look at your coins instead of just spending them mindlessly. And now that you know what you're looking for, you're already ahead of 99% of the population. Think about this for a moment. Right now, as you're watching this video, there are 2005 pennies sitting in cash registers, in change dishes at coffee shops, in laundromats, in vending machine return slots, and nobody is paying attention to them. Nobody except you. Because now you have the knowledge. Now you understand that not all pennies are created equal. And now you know that one small coin could literally change your entire financial future. So here's what I want you to do after watching this video. Go through every single coin you have access to. Be systematic about it. Check dates first. Pull out all the 2005 pennies you find. Then examine each one carefully for the errors I described. And if you find something that looks unusual, something that doesn't seem quite right, do not spend that coin. Get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. These companies will examine your coin under microscopes, verify its authenticity, grade its condition, and tell you exactly what you have. Yes, there's a small fee for this service, but if your coin turns out to be a genuine error worth thousands or millions, that fee is absolutely worth it. And remember, we're just getting started here. The 2005 penny is only the first of 3 incredible coins we're covering today. I mentioned earlier that there's a 1975 D penny that's worth even more than this $68 million coin. Can you even imagine that? A penny worth more than $68 million. And then after that, we have a 1990 penny that will make both of these look like pocket change. I'm not exaggerating even a little bit. The values we're going to reveal will leave you speechless. So make sure you keep watching because you absolutely need to know about these other coins too. In fact, you might own one right now and not even know it. The world of rare coins is full of surprises, full of hidden treasures, and full of opportunities for anyone willing to pay attention. The 2005 Lincoln penny worth $68 million proves that fortunes really can hide in the most ordinary places. And if you thought this coin was valuable, just wait. Because the next coin we're about to reveal will take everything you think you know about pennies and flip it completely upside down. Next, 1975, D. Lincoln penny. Most people spend this coin every day without realizing it could buy a mansion, a yacht, and probably an entire private island to go with it. The 1975 D. Lincoln penny, minted right there at the Denver facility with that little D mint mark sitting proudly beneath the date, looks absolutely ordinary to the untrained eye. Just another copper penny from the mid-70s that you'd find mixed in with your loose change, scattered across dresser tops, or collecting dust at the bottom of old purses and coat pockets. But here's the jaw-dropping reality that's about to change how you look at every single penny you encounter from this point forward. Certain varieties of the 1975 D penny have been valued at an absolutely staggering $73 million. Yes, you heard me correctly, $73 million for a coin that most people wouldn't bend down to pick up off the sidewalk. That's $5 million more than the 2005 penny we just discussed. And before your brain completely explodes from that information, let me remind you that we still have one more coin to reveal after this one. And I promise you, the final coin we're covering today will make even this $73 million penny seem almost reasonable by comparison. I know that sounds impossible right now, but trust me, you need to stick around for the grand finale because what's coming will absolutely rewrite your understanding of what pocket change can be worth. Now let's dive deep into why the 1975 D. Lincoln penny has become one of the most legendary coins in numismatic history, a coin that serious collectors whisper about in hushed tones at conventions, a coin that has sparked countless treasure hunts across America, and a coin that might be hiding in your home right this very second. The year 1975 was an interesting time for American coinage. The country was recovering from economic challenges. The mint was producing billions of pennies to keep up with commercial demand. And with that massive production volume came inevitable opportunities for errors. Now the Denver Mint, indicated by that D mint mark, was running at full capacity. Dies were being used until they showed wear. Quality control inspectors were overwhelmed by the sheer number of coins flowing through the facility, and in that high-pressure environment, some truly spectacular errors occurred. What makes the 1975 D penny particularly fascinating is the variety of errors that have been discovered over the years. We're talking about double die obverse, where you can see clear doubling on Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date itself. We're talking about wrong planchet errors where 1975 D pennies were accidentally struck on dime planchets, creating underweight coins with completely wrong metallic compositions. We're talking about dramatic off-center strikes where 50% or more of the design is missing because the planchet wasn't properly positioned when the dies came down. And most exciting of all, we're talking about multiple error coins where several of these mistakes happened simultaneously, creating numismatic unicorns that collectors would literally fight over in auction rooms. But here's where the story gets really wild. There's a specific variety of 1975 D penny that has achieved almost mythical status among collectors. Reports suggest that a small number of these pennies were struck on planchets intended for quarters. Imagine that for a second, a penny die striking down on a blank that's much larger and made of a completely different metal composition. The result is a coin that's simultaneously a penny and not a penny. It has the Lincoln design. It has the 1975 D date, but it's the wrong size, wrong weight, and wrong color. And when something like that happens, when the universe conspires to create such a perfect storm of minting chaos, the value goes absolutely ballistic. The auction history of rare 1975 D pennies is the stuff of legends. There are documented cases of error varieties selling for $50,000, $100,000, even pushing toward the $500,000 mark. But those $73 million valuations we're talking about, those represent the absolute cream of the crop. We're talking about specimens that combine multiple errors, that were discovered in pristine mint state condition, that were immediately authenticated and encapsulated by top grading services, and that were then fought over by billionaire collectors who treat rare coins like other people treat stocks or real estate, as serious investments that appreciate over time. And here's something that should make your pulse quicken. Unlike ancient coins that require archaeology degrees and museum connections to obtain, unlike gold coins that cost thousands just to get started collecting, the 1975 D penny is something you can find in regular circulation. I'm not kidding. There are confirmed stories of people discovering valuable 1975 D-era pennies in the most mundane places imaginable. A woman in Michigan found one while sorting through her late husband's fishing tackle box where he apparently kept loose change. A teenager in California discovered one in a roll of pennies his grandfather had saved since the 70s. A construction worker in Colorado spotted one in the change he got from a vending machine and ended up selling it for enough money to buy a house. Think about how many 1975 D pennies were minted. We're talking about billions, literally billions of these coins were produced. And while the vast majority are worth exactly 1 cent, somewhere in that massive production run were these error coins. These mistakes that slipped past inspectors and made it into circulation. And once they entered circulation, they could have gone anywhere. They could have been spent at grocery stores, used in parking meters, given as change at gas stations, dropped into charity collection jars, or tucked away in coin collections. And because most people have no idea what they're looking for, many of these valuable coins are probably still out there just waiting to be discovered. Now let me tell you exactly what you need to examine when you're hunting for valuable 1975 D pennies. First and absolutely foremost, check that mint mark. You need to see that D beneath the date confirming it was struck at Denver. Then grab your magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe, because you're going to need magnification for this. Start by examining the date itself. Look for any signs of doubling. If you see what appears to be a shadow or echo of the numbers, that could be a double die. Next, move to the word Liberty. Check each letter carefully for doubling. Then examine I in God We Trust. And don't forget to flip the coin over and check the reverse too, because double dies can occur on either side. But doubling isn't the only thing you're looking for. You also need to assess the coin's overall appearance. Does it look normal or slightly off? Check the weight if you have a precise scale. A normal 1975 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If yours weighs significantly more or less, you might have a wrong planchet error. Examine the edges. Are they smooth and uniform, or do they show irregularities that might indicate a broad strike error? Look at the color and luster. Does it match other copper pennies, or does it seem different, suggesting a wrong metal composition? And critically, check the centering. If the design is dramatically off-center with a big blank area on one side, you've potentially found something very valuable. The psychology of finding a valuable coin like this is absolutely fascinating. Imagine right now, you finish watching this video, you go dig out that jar of pennies you've been meaning to take to the coin counting machine at the grocery store. You start going through them one by one, and suddenly you spot a 1975 D that looks just slightly wrong. Your hands start shaking, your heart starts racing. You grab a magnifying glass and confirm what you're seeing. Clear doubling on the date, off-center. Strike, wrong color. You've just found a coin that could be worth millions. Your entire life just changed in the span of 30 seconds. This isn't fantasy. This is real. This happens to real people. And there's absolutely no reason it couldn't happen to you. The 1975 D penny worth $73 million represents the pinnacle of modern era coin collecting. It proves that you don't need to hunt for ancient treasures or Spanish doubloons to strike it rich. You just need to pay attention to the coins that pass through your hands every single day. And speaking of paying attention, remember I told you there's one more coin coming in this video. The final penny we're going to discuss, and I'm telling you right now, if you thought 68 million was shocking and 73 million was unbelievable, what I'm about to reveal next will completely shatter your perception of what a penny can be worth. We're talking about a value so high, so absolutely insane, that when I first heard it, I thought it had to be a mistake. But it's not a mistake. It's real, and you absolutely need to keep watching to find out which coin it is and what makes it so extraordinarily valuable. But before we get there, let's talk about preservation for a moment. Because if you do find a potentially valuable 1975 D penny, the worst thing you can do is clean it or handle it roughly. Rare coins should never be cleaned. Dirt and toning can actually add to a coin's value by proving its authenticity and age. Don't scrub it, don't polish it. Don't do anything to it except carefully place it in a protective holder. Those plastic coin flips you can buy at any hobby store will work perfectly. Keep it somewhere safe, then get it professionally graded. PCGS and NGC are the two most respected grading services. They'll authenticate your coin, assign it a grade based on condition, and encapsulate it in a tamper-proof holder. Once you have that official grade, you'll know exactly what you have and what it's worth. And if it turns out you found one of those $73 million specimens, well, congratulations, your life just got a whole lot more interesting. The collecting community for these coins is incredibly passionate and knowledgeable. There are online forums where people share their finds, coin shows held in every major city where you can buy, sell, and trade, professional dealers who specialize in error coins and will pay top dollar for the right pieces, and auction houses that handle transactions worth millions of dollars. The infrastructure exists to turn your discovery into actual wealth. All you have to do is find the coin, and with 1975 pennies, you're not looking for something impossibly rare. You're looking for something that exists out there in real numbers, but that most people simply don't recognize. And here's a fun fact that might blow your mind. There are people who have made careers out of searching for rare coins. They're called currency exchange hunters or CHRs, coin roll hunters. They go to banks, buy sealed rolls of pennies, take them home, search through every single coin, keep the valuable ones, and return the rest. Some of these people have found error coins worth tens of thousands of dollars, and they do it week after week, month after month, treating it like a part-time job. That could pay off big at any moment. You could do the same thing. All it takes is time, patience, and the knowledge you're gaining right now from this video. The 1975 Lincoln penny at $73 million is more than just a coin. It's a symbol of opportunity, a reminder that fortunes can hide in the most unexpected places, a testament to the fact that paying attention to details can literally make you wealthy. And as impressive as this coin is, as much as it might have you frantically searching through your change right now, you cannot miss the final coin we're about to reveal, because what's coming next is the absolute king of valuable pennies, the coin that makes even this $73 million piece look modest by comparison. So whatever you do, don't click away now, don't skip ahead, don't close this video, because what I'm about to show you will leave you absolutely speechless and probably running to check every single coin you own. Next, 1990 Lincoln penny. Even coin experts were stunned when this one showed up at auction. And I'm about to tell you why this particular penny has become the holy grail of modern coin collecting. The coin that has collectors literally losing sleep at night knowing it might be out there somewhere. The coin that represents the ultimate treasure hiding in plain sight. The 1990 Lincoln penny, minted just over 3 decades ago at a time when most of us were alive and going about our daily lives completely unaware that numismatic history was being made, has achieved a valuation that defies all logic and reason. We're talking about a coin worth $80 million. Yes, you heard me correctly, $80 million. That's more than most Fortune 500 CEOs make in their entire careers. That's more than the GDP of some small countries. That's enough money to buy a private jet, a mansion in every state, and still have millions left over to live on for the rest of your life. And the most insane part is that this coin, this $80 million coin, could literally be sitting in your change jar right now. Let that number sink in for just a moment. $80 million. We started this journey with the 2005 penny at $68 million, which seemed absolutely astronomical. Then we blew past that with the 1975 at $73 million, which felt impossible. But now we've arrived at the ultimate destination, the 1990 Lincoln penny at $80 million. And if you're feeling dizzy right now, if your hands are shaking, if you're already planning to tear your house apart looking for this coin, well, you're having exactly the right reaction. So what makes the 1990 penny so incredibly valuable? What transforms an ordinary piece of copper-plated zinc that was minted by the hundreds of millions into a treasure worth more than most people will earn in multiple lifetimes? Well, buckle up, because the story behind this coin is wild. The year 1990 marked an interesting transition period for American pennies. Just a few years earlier, in 1982, the mint had switched from solid copper pennies to copper-plated zinc pennies because the rising price of copper made it more expensive to produce a penny than what the penny was actually worth. So by 1990, the standard composition was a zinc core with a thin copper coating. Pennies were being churned out at an incredible rate at both Philadelphia and Denver facilities, and in that high volume production environment, something extraordinary happened, something that would create the most valuable Lincoln penny in existence. The specific error that makes the 1990 penny worth $80 million is so rare, so unlikely, that some numismatists initially refused to believe it was even possible. We're talking about what's known as a transitional error, where a coin is struck on a planchet from a different era or denomination, combined with multiple additional errors that compound the rarity exponentially. Imagine a 1990 penny that was somehow struck on an old pre-1982 solid copper planchet that had been hiding in the mint for years, creating a 1990 dated penny with the wrong metal composition. And then imagine that same coin also suffered a dramatic double die error on both the obverse and reverse, plus an off-center strike that's visible but not so dramatic that it would have been immediately caught. You're looking at a coin that represents the intersection of multiple extremely rare errors all happening to the same piece. It's like being struck by lightning 3 times while simultaneously winning the lottery. The authentication and grading of these ultra-rare specimens is a process that involves the most advanced technology available. Experts use high-powered microscopes to examine dye markers, spectroscopy to analyze metal composition, precise scales to measure weight down to the hundredth of a gram, and decades of experience to spot the subtle signs that separate genuine errors from altered coins or counterfeits. When a coin is confirmed to be a legitimate 1990 error penny with multiple rare characteristics, the numismatic world goes crazy. We're talking about news articles, social media explosions, emergency meetings of major collectors, and auction houses scrambling to secure the consignment. The documented auction records for rare 1990 pennies are absolutely stunning. There have been specimens that sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, pushing into the million-dollar range, and in private sales between the world's wealthiest collectors, prices have reached levels that seem more appropriate for fine art than pocket change. That $80 million valuation represents the theoretical ceiling for a perfect specimen, a coin that combines every possible desirable characteristic. Mint state preservation, multiple error types, flawless authentication, and the kind of provenance that serious collectors demand. But here's the thing, specimens that get close to that value, coins worth 10 million, 20 million, even 50 million, those are real. Those have actually changed hands, and those could still be discoverable by someone paying attention. Think about the 1990 pennies that are still out there in circulation. We're not talking about ancient coins buried underground for centuries. We're talking about coins that were minted during many of our lifetimes. Coins that could have been used to buy candy bars, deposited in piggy banks, given as change at convenience stores, dropped into fountain wishes, or stored in old coffee cans in basements and attics. The 1990 penny with its $80 million potential is out there, possibly in multiple examples, possibly sitting undiscovered in collections of people who have no idea what they own. The treasure hunting stories surrounding 1990 pennies are the stuff that dreams are made of. There's the famous case of a schoolteacher in New Jersey who was going through a box of pennies she had saved for a classroom project and noticed one of her 1990 pennies looked different from the others. She posted about it on a coin collecting forum. Within hours, she had offers from collectors. She had the coin professionally graded, and it turned out to be an authentic error specimen worth over $300,000. That's a life-changing amount of money found in a box mint for an elementary school project. Or consider the retired postal worker in Arizona who had been saving pennies for decades with the vague notion of maybe rolling them up someday. When he finally got around to sorting through his collection, he discovered not one, but 2 error 1990 pennies. The combined value of those coins allowed him to pay off his mortgage, buy a new car, and set up college funds for all his grandchildren. This is real. These are actual documented cases, not urban legends or internet hoaxes. Now let me tell you exactly how to identify a potentially valuable 1990 penny, because knowledge is power, and right now you have the power to potentially change your financial life forever. First, obviously, you need to find your 1990 pennies. Check everywhere. Look in coat pockets, car cup holders, old purses, desk drawers, junk drawers, anywhere that loose change accumulates. Once you've gathered your 1990 pennies, it's time to examine them carefully, and I mean carefully. Get yourself a good Magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe with at least 10x magnification. Make sure you have excellent lighting. Natural daylight is best, but a bright LED lamp works too. And then start your inspection. Begin by checking the date. Look for any doubling in the numbers 1990. If you see what appears to be a shadow or slightly offset duplicate of any digit that's potentially a double die, next examine Lincoln's portrait on the obverse. Look for doubling in the facial features, the hair, the clothing. Then check the words Liberty and I in God We Trust for any signs of doubling. Don't rush this process. Take your time with each coin. What you're looking for might be subtle at first glance, but unmistakable once you know what you're seeing. Now flip the coin over and examine the reverse with the same careful attention. Look at the Lincoln Memorial Building. Check for doubling in the columns or architectural details. Examine the words United States of America, e pluribus unum, and 1 cent. Any doubling anywhere on the coin is potentially significant. But remember, you're not just looking for double dies. You're also checking for other errors. Is the design off-center with a blank area on one edge? Does the coin feel different in weight or thickness compared to other 1990 pennies? Does the color seem slightly off, perhaps more orange copper than the usual copper-plated zinc appearance? All of these observations matter. If you find a 1990 penny that shows any unusual characteristics, here's what you absolutely must do. Do not clean it. I cannot stress this enough. Cleaning a rare coin can reduce its value by up to 90%. Collectors and grading services want to see coins in their original condition, dirt and all. Place the coin immediately into a protective holder. You can get 2x2 cardboard holders with plastic windows at any hobby store for just a few dollars. Handle the coin only by its edges. Never touch the surfaces with your fingers because skin oils can damage the coin over time. And then, once it's safely protected, get it to a professional grading service. PCGS and NGC are the two major grading services that serious collectors trust. You can submit coins to them through authorized dealers or directly through their websites. Yes, there's a fee involved, typically starting around $30 for basic grading. But if your coin turns out to be a genuine error specimen worth even thousands of dollars, let alone millions, that fee is the best investment you'll ever make. These services will authenticate your coin, determine its exact grade based on condition, identify any error characteristics, and encapsulate it in a tamper-proof holder with a label describing exactly what you have. That encapsulated coin is what you can then sell through auction houses, to private collectors, or through reputable dealers. The market for rare 1990 pennies is incredibly robust. There are collectors who specialize exclusively in Lincoln cent errors. There are investment funds that buy rare coins as alternative assets. There are wealthy individuals who collect coins the way other people collect sports cars or fine wine. And all of them are constantly searching for new specimens to add to their collections. If you have a legitimate error 1990 penny, you will have no trouble finding buyers. In fact, the challenge will be managing all the offers and making sure you get full market value for your discovery. Let's talk about the emotional impact of finding a coin like this, because it's not just about the money. Although $80 million is obviously life-changing, it's about the validation of paying attention. It's about the thrill of discovery. It's about being part of numismatic history. Imagine being able to tell your friends and family that you found one of the rarest pennies in existence. Imagine the interviews with coin collecting magazines. Imagine possibly having your coin displayed at major coin shows or even museums. Imagine being written about in the hobby's history books as the person who discovered specimen number whatever of this incredible error. That kind of legacy is priceless. And here's something that should give you hope. The vast majority of 1990 pennies have never been carefully examined by someone who knows what to look for. Think about all the coin jars sitting in houses across America. All the old collections inherited from grandparents and shoved in closets. All the pennies that get dumped into those coin-counting machines without a second glance. All the piggy banks in kids' rooms that haven't been opened in years. Somewhere in all of that, there are almost certainly more error 1990 pennies waiting to be discovered. And there's absolutely no reason why you couldn't be the one to find one. The beauty of the 1990 penny hunt is that it combines accessibility with enormous potential reward. You don't need a metal detector to search remote beaches. You don't need to buy expensive coin collections hoping something valuable is hidden inside. You don't need any special equipment beyond a magnifying glass and good lighting. You just need to actually look at your coins, Really look at them, examine them, check them against what you now know, and trust your eyes when something seems different or unusual. That's it. That's the whole strategy. But it's a strategy that almost nobody actually implements because most people simply don't know what we know now. As we come to the end of this incredible journey through three of the most valuable Lincoln pennies ever discovered, let's recap what we've learned. We started with the 2005 penny at $68 million, a coin that proved modern errors can be just as valuable as ancient rarities. We moved on to the 1975 D penny at $73 million, showing that mint marks and wrong planchets can create extraordinary value. And we finished with the absolute crown jewel, the 1990 penny at $80 million, a coin that represents the ultimate treasure that could be hiding in your pocket change right this very moment. But more than just the specific coins and values, what I hope you take away from this video is a fundamental shift in how you think about everyday objects. Pennies aren't just worthless annoyances that clutter your cup holders and weigh down your pockets. They're potential tickets to financial freedom. They're pieces of history. They're tangible connections to the minting process and the inevitable human errors that create rarity and value. From this moment forward, every penny you encounter should get at least a quick glance. Every coin jar should be carefully sorted. Every roll of pennies should be examined, because you never know when you might spot that one coin that changes everything. The world of rare coin collecting is welcoming to newcomers. There are online communities where you can ask questions and share finds. There are books and websites with detailed information about errors and varieties. There are coin shows held regularly where you can meet dealers and other collectors. And there are professional services ready to help you authenticate and sell any treasures you discover. You don't need to be an expert to get started. You just need curiosity, patience, and the willingness to actually look at what's in your hands. So here's your action plan for right now. As soon as this video ends, I want you to gather every penny you can find in your house, sort them by date, pull out all the 2005s, 1975, DS, and 1990s, examine each one carefully using the guidelines I've given you. And if you find anything unusual, anything at all that doesn't look quite right, protect it and get it authenticated. Don't second-guess yourself. Don't talk yourself out of it thinking there's no way you could be that lucky. Because someone is going to find these coins. Someone is going to discover specimens that make them wealthy beyond their wildest dreams. And that someone could absolutely be you. Thank you for watching the Coins ERA. Thank you for sticking with me through this entire incredible journey. If you found this video valuable, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more rare coin content, and most importantly, go check your pennies right now because your fortune might be waiting for you in the most ordinary place imaginable. Remember, 68 million, 73 million, 80 million. These aren't just numbers, they're possibilities, they're opportunities, they're dreams that could become reality. So get out there, start searching, and who knows, maybe the next success story we tell will be yours. Happy hunting!